If you really believe me, you will not pass anyone without doing something to lift his burden. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Neville Goddard podcast. My name is Mr. 2020, and today we're going to dive into Terry's question, because Terry asked me a really good question. He got the attitude of Abdullah pack. And inside of there, one of the things that I mentioned was having some attitude and imagining lovingly for a drug dealer that I just wanted to take out, eliminate, neutralize. Instead, I did something very lovely. I imagined this drug dealer doing something lovely, and their entire life changed. And that blessed a lot of people. But meanwhile, instead of going into detail on that, let's dive into something really cool with this quote from Neville Goddard in today's Neville Goddard podcast. So Neville Goddard says, if you really believe me, you will not pass anyone without doing something to lift his burden. Taking up his cross, you will represent him to yourself as you would like to see him. And to the degree that you are self-persuaded, he will become it, even though he may never know what you did. As you pray for your friends, you will discover your own captivity is lifted until your cross becomes lighter and lighter until finally you are light itself. So ready? Taking up his cross, you will represent him to yourself as you would like to see him. What is the cross? The cross is your body. The cross is this human experience that you imagined yourself into. And this human experience can be good, bad, and indifferent. Some people curse those who have what they want. Why would you curse those who have what you want? Because here's the thing. They've got crosses too. So far, I have not come across anyone who doesn't have a cross. They all have some experience that they wish to lift themselves up from. Let's look at this in a few different angles. Ready? As you pray for your friends, you will discover your own captivity is lifted until your cross becomes lighter and lighter until finally you are light itself. You always have been light itself. You are God having the adventure of a lifetime. Your awareness of being is God. How you are aware of anything being determines how it shows up in this human experience. The cross that you're nailed to. Good, bad, and different, When I was a young boy and I was poor, we were on welfare. We stood in the cheese line, all that bullshit. And I used to think money would solve everything. And I got to admit, money is fun. Having become some weird combination of Neville Goddard, Victor Goddard, and Abdullah, that's how I describe myself. I love business. I love teaching this stuff. And I'm a little wild, in my opinion. Sort of like Ab. I'm into the whole metaphysical side of this. I don't talk about it much. But it's there. And here's the cool thing. If you really believe me, you will not pass anyone without doing something to lift his burden. So you've got a choice. When you pass anyone, you can lift their burden or you can add to it. You can see them as they are. You can judge them for how they are. You can add weight to their burden. Why would you? You see, here's what I notice. When I notice someone could be soaring higher, and that's everyone. And here's what I mean by soaring higher, not just making more money or having more health or getting more kisses. And those are all lovely things. And I do imagine those things for people. I want you to discover you are light itself. You came here to discover you are light itself. You're the spark behind the eyes. And being the spark behind the eyes, you determine what you see and how you see it. If you really believe me, you will not pass anyone without doing something to lift his burden. In other words, when you pass another, you will remember you are God having the adventure of a lifetime, that your awareness of being is God, that consciousness is the only reality. And if you really believe me, you can't help but imagine lovingly for others, instead of judging them for where they are, for where they've been. We all know where we are. We all know where we've been. You can deny knowing it, but you know. And here's the thing. You came here to remember. You came here to forget. You came here to remember you are God having the adventure of a lifetime. You came here to get lost in what you give life to. You came here to remember again, you are God having the adventure of a lifetime. You came here to get lost in, oh my God, that's so yummy. You came here to remember, I gave life to what I notice is yummy. Now, every time you remember, as you pray for your friends, why would you bother praying for your friends? By the way, who are your friends? As far as I'm concerned, that's everybody I pass. As you pray for your friends, and of course there are those special people in my life that I develop friendships with. As you pray for your friends, you will discover your own captivity is lifted. You, remembering you are God having the adventure of a lifetime, reveals your own captivity is lifted. You aren't the body. You have a body. You aren't all the think-a-do. You have think-a-do. As you pray for your friends, you will discover your own captivity is lifted. That's massive. Your cross becomes lighter and lighter until finally you're light itself. I noticed sunlight shines on the cross. You know, when I was a young boy, there was this crippled guy at the mall. And I'll use that word because they said I was going to be crippled. I saw this guy at the mall. Remember, when I was 12 years old, they told me I had scoliosis and I'd be crippled by the time I was in my 20s. They said I'd be in a brace, probably in a wheelchair, that kind of thing. Maybe they were just trying to scare a little boy into doing something. Maybe they were being honest. I don't know. But I imagined the doctors shocked. I lifted their cross. I imagined me as a karate champion. I lifted my cross too. I imagined my mom happy that I'm a karate champion. I lifted her cross. And I discovered, without even knowing this stuff, I am light itself. You're your savior. As you pray for your friends, you will discover your own captivity is lifted. As you pray for your friends, you will discover again and again you are God having the adventure of a lifetime. As you pray for your friends, on the other hand, as you judge them, that don't feel good, does it? And we've all done it, and we'll all do it again. And when you notice any time that you've fallen into that itty-bitty shitty committee where you're one of them, when you notice that you're the judge, you get to have a giggle. You get to lift up. You get to remember who you are by exploring how this works. Terry, I want to thank you for your question today. If you got gold listening, anyone and everyone, I'd suggest two things from NevilleGoddardStore.com, The Attitude of Abdullah and The Metaphysics of Manifesting. Those are two pretty cool ones. If you enjoy where I explore, and you want to explore there too, those two are goodies, The Attitude of Abdullah and The Metaphysics of Manifesting, and you can get them at NevilleGoddardStore.com. So right now, as we go into the silence, I ask that you pray for your friends. Notice again who you are and how this works, because as you discover again, as you notice right now, who you are and how this works, your own captivity is lifted. Let us go into the silence. As you pray for your friends, you will discover your own captivity is lifted. Your cross becomes lighter and lighter until finally you are light itself. You are light itself. Have a lovely day. See ya.